Hi, I'm Chris Kinane, Research Director for Supply Chain Management at ARC Advisory Group. Joining me today is Kathleen Geraghty, Vice President of North American Sales at ToolsGroup. Kathleen, thanks for being here.
Glad to. Hello, Chris.
Now, for those that might not be aware of ToolsGroup, could you say a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Certainly. ToolsGroup is a global supply chain planning software company. We've been around for about 25 years with a very simple purpose, and that is to help companies maintain or improve target service levels while minimizing inventory. So really, regardless of the complexity in their supply chain or how much demand may change, we can elevate operational performance. I think the way that we do that is actually pretty unique. So by calculating the probability of demand, which is many steps beyond a conventional forecast, we leverage our technology to optimize inventory. And this really delivers the service levels that companies can commit to their customers. So we're ensuring right product, right time, right place, consuming the least amount of working capital.
We've seen the supply chain planning market has continued to grow through COVID while many other software markets have been hit hard. Why do you think that is?
I think that the pandemic hit supply chains quickly and shined a very bright light where there were vulnerabilities, particularly on companies that couldn't react to significant and large disruptions. So that's elevated the need. More specifically in North America, that initial impact, which was only last March, April, but feels like a lifetime ago, started with the offshore suppliers closing and then not able to fill orders, followed by global logistics bottlenecks. So they really felt it in a pretty dramatic fashion. At the same time, these companies were dealing with the supply volatility. They started to feel the impact of demand uncertainty. So a high degree of challenge to deliver service levels and achieve their business results. I think one of the things that COVID has done is it's really underlined the need to be resilient, or in ToolsGroup language, the need to be ready for anything. There's now a keen awareness that disruptions can happen suddenly, and that supply chain technology can bring agility and resilience while providing visibility. So our customer base leveraged the tool, through the entire crisis to reduce disruptive impacts. And now I think they've got an even greater confidence that they're ready for whatever might happen next.
Are there other trends that you're seeing in the supply chain planning space?
Certainly. In fact, just in the last month, we released our annual predictions for the year ahead. And the first one is largely around the trend towards digital transformation to accelerate gaining that agility and resilience that we just talked about. So now I think it's a higher priority. And I personally believe this is in part because business models that maybe eventually would have changed have accelerated in changing, and like, for instance, direct to consumer. So you have the convergence fueling a number of initiatives. And I'd say up until the pandemic, there were a lot of shiny new technologies that, kind of distracted a lot of the, potential project sponsors. And now I believe that what we're seeing is a respect for really solid supply chain planning with the granular capability as a fundamental for digital transformation. But in addition to that, there's a few more I can add to, if you like. We also expect planning capabilities to grow in adoption, particularly to build more resilience by expanding multi-echelon distribution networks, centralizing planning, increasing simulation capabilities and scenario planning. And admittedly, all of these strategic changes to a supply chain introduce more complexity. But again, that's actually where we shine and can bring the greatest value to these companies. Also, another thing that that we saw kind of an immediate reaction, but it's staying the course, and that is getting more regional, focusing on alternate sourcing and substitution options. So companies are looking to shorten and localize supply chains. That creates a trade-off in some instances of higher manufacturing costs, balanced against reducing inventory, lower freight, lower logistics costs and duties. But in particular, the benefits of greater resiliency and certainty are really what they're looking for right now. And then the final one I would mention, which is maybe a little long range, but certainly evident today, and that is a movement towards best of breed solutions at the forefront. We see this as part of some of the most strategic planning roadmaps. So really kind of abandoning the fact that everything has to come from one solution. This trend is gaining momentum. As a consequence, system integrators will move from doing that one big bang vendor rollout to building more integrated set of solutions that provide the capabilities that they really need in various areas of planning and execution. So I think an optimal approach is really what we are predicting and watching as we go forward here.
Machine learning and artificial intelligence are really getting a lot of buzz too right now. Every supply chain planning supplier is talking about their capabilities in the area. What should a potential customer know about artificial intelligence and supply chain planning before selecting a supplier?
You're absolutely right. It's been a buzzword for a while. And for that reason, everybody weaves it into their marketing messaging, but very few have true machine learning and AI particularly in a productized fashion, which is the ToolsGroup approach to this. So my guidance would be, understand what it is before you're out there, letting a supplier maybe shape your view of that. But selecting, those that have deep experience is critical. So they're not learning with you. And that requires a deep dive into their technology and talking to some of their current customers, really to have that evidence. From a ToolsGroup perspective, we're an early innovator in this space. We've been applying machine learning for more than a decade to challenges that are, a lot of them are demand focused, specifically in new product introduction and promotional planning. So we can, look at a number of examples where that has elevated the results. But the bottom line here is just really ensuring that the potential suppliers have that expertise and that you can leverage what they have in the areas where you need the assistance from machine learning and AI, because there's certainly great value there.
Well, Kathleen, thank you very much for joining me today and really sharing some excellent insights.
You got it. Thanks, Chris.
My guest today was Kathleen Geraghty, Vice President of North American Sales at ToolsGroup. Thank you for watching.